Hello, this is James, and we're back with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast. Let's get right into it. Why is human society almost always hierarchical? And I posted that as a self-post. I said, from pharaohs to Caesars to kings to presidents, it always seems that humans have operated from a top-down power structure. I think it's because it's seen as the easiest way to keep people under control. But I'm curious what you guys think. So, and people replied, like the one replied says, it's mostly after the development of agriculture that, that we see societies be structured on this paradigm. So I think that's probably true. You don't really see this from the hunter-gatherer days, and that's something that I think it's important. I think that's why we should probably return being hunter-gatherers, because I think we need to decentralize our society, and that could be one of the ways of doing it. I'm feeling the same way about the LP from Flimsy Out 5563, and that's a cross post from you think took you long enough from fuck the alt from r/fuck the alt right. We should be concerned about this as Republicans. I'm having more rational Republicans coming up to me and saying, I just don't know how long I can stay in this party. Now our party is going unknown as a group of kind of extremist populist over the top people where no one is taking it seriously anymore, from GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski. And I would kind of agree with that, but the thing is, all parties have their own extremists. Some of them can be more visible than others. And yeah, so I would say that that's something important to remember as well. Social media is always going to put the most extreme takes first, because that will increase the engagement as well. Because the Dems can be awful too. They're the only ones. They're the ones who are inspired when it comes to controlling narrative, especially on social media. So the thing is, the Dems can be bad as well. So that's the thing. Every political party has bad people in it. From some perspectives, everyone's perspective might be considered bad from another perspective. So that's something to think about as well. Apparently, bioweapons are the one thing on Earth that can't be racist, from Michael Mouse on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, woke people as well, I would say, at least according to themselves, woke people say they can't be racist. But yeah, that's they said, oh, you can tailor, RFK said, oh, you can maybe tailor disease bioweapons to be more suitable for some races than others. And people say, oh, that's not right, that's not science. But the thing is, that's how it is. Science, some races have some biological differences. As I said in one of the last episodes, black people are more likely to have sickle cell anemia, and that's something that's important to remember as well. So I definitely do think you can tailor bioweapons to specific races. I would agree with RFK Jr. on that point. We have a severe pilot shortage, delaying flight issues, yet Congress just voted down an amendment for airlines to reinstate pilots who were fired or forced to resign because of vaccine mandates. Only one House Dem voted for it. Vote took place about 3 minutes ago on the floor, from Lee Fang on Twitter. And I said, really goes to show how much the narrative matters more than actually helping people. That's the big problem here, is because the FAA as a whole. I think we gotta get rid of the FAA. We gotta get rid of all these regulatory agencies, because there's too many rules, and people don't want all these rules. They want a simpler society, and this is just all too complicated. Corporate media has become increasingly created closed information systems around every major issue, from Russiagate, COVID, Ukraine, etc. Dissent from these orthodoxies is branded disinformation, then censored. That's why a free internet is so vital, and that's why it's their main target. From Glenn Riedel on Twitter. I posted that, and I said, control the narrative, control the people. That's what it is, So when you can't have any dissenting narratives, that's how you're going to control people, and that's what they're doing with the internet, and that's what we're seeing right now. That's the sad thing, is they're getting away with it, and they're going to get away with it. But we have to stop them for as long as we can. City-dwelling liberals encourage black people to riot for their justice, and they feel this has such good outcomes for race relations that they want this to be experienced by those who live in small towns. So now it's racist if you don't want your town burned down, from one year in Joya on Twitter. And I posted that. And I said, everything is racist to woke liberals, with slow exceptions of themselves. So that's how I feel there. Yeah, also like there's saying, "Oh, Detroit is being racist," but they say the woke people say on TikTok say, "Oh, black people can't be racist," but it's only when they say the right narratives. They always say, "Oh, we support black people," but then the black people says the wrong narratives. They say, "Oh, no, bad black person, bad." So it's like they say they support all these the neurodiverse minorities, LGBTQ, but then if they ever dissent from the narratives, then they suddenly turn on them. So that's just to show you they don't support those groups; they support the narrative overall. This is such a great point. Only the left is allowed to make comparisons to slavery. From Reed Coverdale on Twitter, and I posted that. And I said, most people only have double standards for what they're allowed to say and do compared to others. See, for example, when people justify using violence for political change, it's why the George Floyd riots were okay, but January 6th was the worst thing ever, and vice versa. And if you switch the two groups who did those, it would probably be the people who thought they were the worst thing ever would probably switch as well. So it's not who does things that matters. Really, it's not what people do that matters. It's really who does it these days that matters. See, how people think pedophiles are the worst thing ever when they're in the Christian church, but then when they're woke, when they're marketed as woke, they call them minor attracted persons. That's how the narrative is. Belarusian Red Cross says it is involved in transfer of children out of Ukraine from Ninja Lover. I guess that's good. Hopefully, hopefully they're taking them to safe places and not and getting the kids out of the war. But it's hopefully they're doing good. Yeah. And we have Trump praises smart, brilliant, everything and perfect. Xi Jinping runs 1.4 billion people fire and fist from a geeky username. I didn't comment that one because they blocked me. But yeah, it's from MediaLite.com. And the thing is that they all praise dictators. Look at how Obama invited a bunch of African dictators to the White House. Some of them have been in power for 30 plus years at that point. Some of them are in power for almost over 40 plus years now. And they only care about when Trump does it because the only standards that people have in politics are frankly double standards. Florida schools will teach how slavery brought personal benefit to black people from the dailybeast.com by Willing Dan. And that's just kind of more of a narrative post, I would say. Especially since it's from the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast, New Republic, Raw Story. Those are some of Reddit's favorite sources because they're all progressive rags and they all say the same progressive narrative, yada, 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 yada. And yeah, that's why I really don't like Reddit. It's all the same progressive. It's pretty much MSNBC as the social media platform, and it gets tiring after a while. But you gotta keep fighting for free speech and what's right. So that's why you can't give up, even if it's like talking to a brick wall. That's what I think. So yeah. Remember, the narrative matters much more than the context on social media, and that's true throughout the political spectrum, I would say, as well. We should take over and come flag in r/place from a crosspost from John Reed 1745, and that's a crosspost from the anarcho-capitalism subreddit. And I said, Redditors always hate when someone has any ideology. Our places mostly bots anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. I also love to talk on link posts, which you absolutely try, but don't get mad when the incomes turn red like last time. They have way more free time than we do since none of them have jobs. That's the thing with Reddit. None of them have jobs. Well, I only work part-time, but, I'm still probably working a lot more than a lot of Redditors since, they're probably all unemployed. Universal investigation after Trump trees that shaded SAG-AFTRA protesters from CNN Business from my Ninja Lover. And I guess, yeah, that's kind of scummy, but, if it's their property, I think they should be able to cut down trees. I would agree it's a scummy move, though. They should be doing that. Tracking U.S. military aircraft online could become much harder from the Drive.com by Ninja Lover. And I agree, the U.S. essentially wants to make it harder to track itself. Everyone wants to make it's hard to track everyone. But everything, it's probably really easy to track people when, they probably track us, through like agencies like NSA and stuff like that. So, it goes rules for, that's another rules for the, not for me thing. Hey, at Nina Turner, have you stopped to consider that you used to have a state-protected program that provided free healthcare, food, water, shelter, and protection? It was called slavery. Actually, we have similar one that still exists today, prison, from LPPA on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, just goes to show you that you can't get everything for free unless you give up your own freedom in the process. Alabama death row inmate James Barber expected to be executed following appeals court ruling from CNN by Ninja Lover. I definitely would agree that isn't too good. That's I definitely think the death penalty isn't good because, the state shouldn't be killing people. It's not actively regulating napling if there are monsters who rape and kill children. But, I personally think they should probably just off themselves if they want to, but I don't think they should be killing themselves, be having the state kill them. If they want to kill themselves, I think that's fine, but I don't think the state should be killing people. Maybe they should, I could see an argument for maybe like denying them food or other things, but not like lethal injection method we have currently. Maybe probably the most painful way, painless way would probably be shooting what are they called? Shooting groups firing range. So that would probably be the most painless way currently. But yeah, I personally don't think we should be doing that. In 2020, the FBI repeatedly warned Twitter and Facebook of a forthcoming Russian disinformation operation about Hunter Biden. When NY Post published emails from his laptop, Twitter and FBI censored the content. Now an FBI official admits FBI knew the laptop was real. Massive from Michael Schellenberger on Twitter. And of course, everyone's defending it in the comments. Oh, chain of custody. That's a Dem talking about, right? It's all Dem talking points, kind of like that. But I said, remember, it's not okay for outside groups to influence elections unless they influence them the right way, like the FBI did here, at least according to folks like MSNBC. So that's going to show you, people, rules for thee, not for me. They say, oh, when James Comey says, oh, I'm investigating Hillary before the 2016 election, that's the worst thing ever. When they work like this, it's suddenly good. The FBI is suddenly a good guy. So they'll show you they don't really care about anything except getting their guy in power. So that's the sad truth. Everyone just wants a dictator they agree with, not any and all sent to be wiped off the face of the earth. Stanford Law School ousted diversity dean who egged on protests of federal judge from freebeacon.com and as from Ninja Lover. And yeah, I definitely think that's might be a little too far, but I don't think you should be the DEI people are pretty insufferable, so I don't really feel too sorry for them right there. The U.S. military seems really hard up for troops right now. I definitely think the draft might come back soon, especially when war with Russia and China inevitably breaks out. For that self-list I made. And I said, I just got a text and had a call from a Navy recruiter today. I'm still knowledgeable for sure because I'm on SSRI, but the fact that they're reaching out to people to me is not a good sign. So I definitely think you will have war with Russia and China soon, because Biden really needs a world war to help with his re-election campaign and help make himself look competent. So that's something that I think you might see soon. But sadly, social media is usually fear-mongering for that result, so that could be a good case for that as well. 74% of college students support snitching on professors who make offensive statements from reason. And I posted that and I said, of course, any dissent at all is seen as offensive these days. You can't step out of line at all without people coming after you for it like a pack of wolves. Then we have Far Right Workout, a video from Levelad 3231, and that's from their new YouTube channel. What's that called? Gaslighters Anonymous. And that's how saying, oh, hello, my name is Jisu. I used to think working out kept me strong and healthy, but now I'm a far-right extremist. I just follow 5 simple rules. I appropriate other cultures' diets. This is called soft colonization. I drink water. I make eye contact when I socialize. This is a microaggression. I push down and bring myself up. I challenge my friends, challenge themselves in certain ideological alienation. And remember, nothing is more dangerous than not belonging to a narrow-minded, rigid ideology that shames and discards lived experience based on race or political opinion. This is what progress looks like. So I would agree that is, that's true. A lot of people think like that. I personally don't like to make eye contact, but I wouldn't consider eye contact a microaggression. I don't like it because I'm on the autism spectrum, but these days, everything's a microaggression and a dog whistle, that's kind of made those words completely lose all meaning. And I said, most users in subreddit, but unironically, that's a lot of people on the left, but unironically, a lot of users in the Libertarian subreddit are like that. They say, oh, everything's a dog whistle, everything's microaggression, every dissent is fascism, stuff like that, LPNH can LPNH. That's a note from Alex Gabb, and that says, it's a tweet from LPNH will pay for an intern to be flown to the country of her ancestors, as well as over 1 year of the country's average income conditional or surrounding U.S. citizenship. Otherwise, the intern should shut the fuck up for operations forever. I wish the internet would shut the fuck up. Sometimes I wish the LPNH would shut the fuck up as well. Sometimes I wish everyone would shut the fuck up these days. That's my own fault there. But, I said, yeah. I like the other tweet they made recently. It says, oh, it's the woke soy jack. He says, oh, being attracted to a minor attractive person is just another form of sexuality. And then the Chad farmer soy jack says, bearing pedos is just another form of gardening. So that's, they're edgy. They can be tiring sometimes, but, I think, they have the right to free speech, and I would support, them saying it. I'm tired of kind of their shit, I'm tired of all the constant egging people on, but that's kind of life sometimes. Some people like to egg people on. That's just how life is, Strange that the banned books crowd will never cares about literature being rewritten in real time to promote the current leftist societal religious orthodoxy, from Aaron McIntyre on Twitter, and I posted that. And yeah, I would say, most people love censorship when it fits into their agenda, and also they would never rewrite it so as to remove the oral sex scene from genderqueer. So that's just goes to show you what it's all, they think, oh, we're changing, it's like, oh, it's all, oh, everything's going to be conformed to the left sensibilities or else, and they'll bully if you don't. The right has the same kind of thing, but it's not as bad from my perspective, I would say. Who could forget when Jesus said to enact socialized healthcare? From Spike Cohen on Twitter, I posted that, and I said, Jesus is the perfect example of how people try to rationalize their beliefs using historical figures as a means to justify them if it doesn't completely line up. It's why pretty much everyone throughout the political spectrum tries to claim him. Americans have no idea they are the most propagandized people on the planet, and it's their perception of an independent press that does most to bolster the delusion of freedom, from a newsman on Twitter. And I posted that, and I said, agreed, in Russia and China, the people know to an extent that the press isn't really independent, not so in the US, even though it's mostly the exact same situation. And I have Michael, factual but not truthful, after but not because of, this is how they play with language to manipulate. Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested after going on dates with young men would be a great way to frame the arrest as homophobia. For Michael Malice on Twitter, I posted that, and I said, like big government and big business, big media is not your friend. They want to produce their narrative, and yeah, it's something that, you have to remember. The media's always trying to push a narrative on you. Everyone's trying to push a narrative on you, but it's not, the media is definitely one that wants to feel it's entitled to push you on, to push you at the most on the narrative. Texas school board invokes eminent domain, could raise century-old family home to build parking lot, from FoxNews.com by Ninja Lover, and I said, fuck eminent domain. Private enterprise is ready to wage war against the empire. Rheinmetall responds to Russian threats it will defend its plant in Ukraine. They plan to protect from the attacks various defense systems of their own manufacture from Vajaspil. And I didn't respond to that one because that's from Proud.com.ua, and I don't respond to that one because they blocked me. But yeah, I guess if if Ukraine wants to use private enterprise, I think they should be able to. But I think it's mostly just a drift to get those guys money. Like, the guys really benefiting from the Ukraine war right now are Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Halliburton, the private military industrial contractors like that, and they're the ones who really are probably egging it on the most. I'm banned from Libertarian from Gulez99, and yeah, I've been too far left. Where can I get help? So that's kind of sad, but it is freedom of association, they say, and that's how some things are sometimes. They ban you from their suburb if they think you dissent too much. That's, blocking and banning. That's kind of the rule of social media. People just want to be circle jerked and reassured of their own narratives. It's kind of really sad and pathetic, if you ask me. If Democrats went after Chick-fil-A and other public companies for espoused marriages, one man, one woman, I guarantee you they would be defending Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby, and other companies, even if the stock price went down as a result. And that's a cross post from the Iron Frank USA subreddit from International Silver One. And I said, that's politics for you. The only standards people have are double. They're hypocrites. Republicans now funding the same voting methods that the demonized under Trump. What they do is lie, try to steal elections. That has not stopped this. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold from Salon.com. And that's another thing where, that's by Titan 20, that's another thing where, it's the narrative and the double standards that matter more than anything else to most people when it comes to politics. The LPN is suing individual members of the state of Michigan for trademark infringement, and they need your help from Slayer 99-1, and that's cross post from what's the guy, the post on Twitter is originally from Kevin Gogan. And I would say they block me, so I can't reply. But I'll say that I think people should be able to sue each other for whatever they want, but I don't think they should be forced to view the rulings as legitimate because I don't think the courts have any legitimacy. Biden says, "Oh, the courts are legitimate when they make the wrong rulings, but the legitimate way makes the right one." So that's people are increasingly viewing authority as illegitimate. I think that's something that is a positive. I would say it's the direction society's headed. They suspected a lab leak and didn't admit it from Reason TV. Reach.com, and I posted that. I said, turns out that most people don't want to admit to go out of their way or go out of their way to confess to any wrongdoing. Who could have guessed that? So that's the thing. People hate Trump, but but even though Fauci is a huge part of the botched response and probably helped fund the virus, they like Fauci because the narrative is, oh, Fauci's good. That's the MSNBC narrative, and that's what people think. They follow the narrative. Then we have Comrade Turtle from Baton 13, and that's across from the Cool People Pod subreddit, and it says it's from the Daily Times, New Philadelphia, Ohio, July 9th, 1924. People liking turtles better than cops. Will we please learn a turtle that bit off a cop's toe on the Hudson River? So I guess that's, I personally think I like how animals don't have to follow the same standards as people. You can't bite off a cop's toe, but the turtle can. So that's why I think going feral might be a good long-term solution. So I think we're going to wrap it up there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.